Alright, well, I was looking for something fun to play today, and I realized that in my last sneak attack video, I did not do it the way that the meta has been playing sneak attack. In my last video, we looked at getting Ulamog in and trying to do so in a way that gave Ulamog like Annihilator 7 to absolutely ruin any opponent's board. If you want to see that video, make sure to check that one out in like the last 5 or 6 videos or something like that. Might be from a little bit further than that, but regardless, we're back on sneak attack again today. And we're doing it the dino way. This deck is going to revolve around a couple big dinosaurs. One of the main ones being Vaultborn Tyrant, one that sees a lot of play if you run into this in the Timeless Ladder, at the very least. And this is a card that on ETB is going to draw you a card and gain 3 life. And the big part is that when this thing dies, as Sneak Attack makes you sacrifice the creature at the beginning of the end step, it will actually just come back as an artifact creature, which is pretty cool. So this is effectively gain 6, draw 2 cards for the low price of 1 red mana. So we're going to be definitely trying to get one of these things in for sure. Other really cool dinosaurs include Itali Primal Conqueror. This is the one that we're deciding to run 4 of, in addition to Galta Stampede Tyrant. Galta Stampede Tyrant basically allows us to empty our hand, so hopefully we have a lot of cards in the hand. Itali, exile top of each player's library to hit non-land, and you get to play that for free. That's pretty sweet. We have a 1 of Tyrannix Rex. Double hit with Toxic, or triple hit with Toxic 4 is going to be enough to kill an opponent. And just in general, Ward 4 is really nice on an 8/8 that you try to cheat out. So hopefully that will be a win condition in of itself. And then finally, Gishoth's Son's Avatar is another pretty solid one that allows you to dig and look for more dinosaurs off the top in a deck like this where we're playing a lot of them. Some decks will also run Zakama Primal Calamity, but for me, I've decided to not run that. We're mostly into red-green, but we do have the ability to splash that white, not out of our mana base, but out of the tokens that we get from Fable of the Mirror Breaker, Strike It Rich, both Gilded Goose, Birds of Paradise, and Armored Scrap Gorger can all create any colored mana, so we're able to find that white pretty easily. So the big idea in this deck is to take hands with Sneak Attack, ramp it out as fast as possible, get that ability onto the battlefield, or get that ability onto the stack, and then these creatures onto the battlefield. It's a pretty cut and dry game plan. We're just going in, we're going for the back fence. And yeah, this is going to be Vaultborn Dino Sneak Attack. I hope you guys enjoy. This episode of Full Control MTG is brought to you by Patreon and your viewership. If you want to support the channel financially, the Full Control MTG Patreon is the best place to do so. With a Shockland tier, you get access to videos as soon as they are recorded and edited. Don't wait to get your hands on another Full Control MTG deck list. Otherwise, it's your support for the channel that keeps me going. Thanks for being here and enjoy the video. Okay, it's round 1. Can we do it? Not with this hand, because we do need Sneak Attack, but it is nice to have Galta and a bunch of other things in hand. We will take this one that does contain a Sneak Attack, and then the question is, do we go for the Fable, or do we just go hard on that ramp? And I think we're going to go for the ramp in this hand. A lot of the times we do end up drawing our 4th land, which actually puts us in a pretty good spot. So I think maybe the idea is to go not thin our library, and we just go to hit a 3rd land, and then we just go for turn 2 Fable. Alright, so Gorge, Birds of Paradise, we are doing the thing. It may end up being a pass the turn Sneak Attack play though, which is awkward. So we'll do this, Shock, Fable. And High Noon is 1 spell each turn, that'll be completely fine for us. We do need to attack with our 2/2 though. Let's see what their play is. It is white and green. Siege Veteran. Okay, so we're doing some soldiers thing under the protection of High Noon and other Deafening Silence type effects. And at this point, we're just looking for payoffs here. We are going to be able to attack with the Goblin Shaman, and at that point, that is all that we need to do. We will not find extra lands here, unfortunately, and we will get our 2 damage in, which is pretty sweet. We'll just drop a sneak attack here, tap everything to do so, and now they have to either deal a lot of damage or have enchantment removal, which is not unheard of in these colors. Alright, and they'll just tap out for another Siege Veteran, so we get to do our thing, which is sweet. And we'll just go with a Galta Stampede Tyrant. All we need to do is spend 1 red mana. Our Fable will flip, and oh my god, we have the absolute nuts here. Let's go Sneak Attack, Activate Ability. Let's put a Galta down. And then we will get our whole hand into play because why not? Oh yeah, now we're talking. Alright. We hit Fable, and their Eternal Wanderer. That's crazy. Oh my god. Lots of Vaultborn Tyrants. We will just take the Fable here. And I guess I can get another Atali if we really wanted to. Why not? No, let's not do that. We have enough. We'll attack in for what is surely lethal. Gishoth would trigger if they would decide to block with the Siege Veteran. I think we actually do 21 damage, right? So they will still just be exactly dead. Alright, well, unfortunately didn't get to see the super kill happen with Gishoth bringing out some extra dinosaurs, but dropping 4 things into play all at once is pretty nuts. Absolute banger of a game 1. I don't know if we can top it, but let's try. Here comes round 2. Okay, we are back. And we have a sneak attack. That is pretty much enough for me to want to keep a hand. Now this one does only get a Galta into play, but maybe we'll draw something good along the way. So we set up turn 2 Fable, discarding Galta and one of the next cards that we draw. I feel pretty decent about this. Now I feel less good about their Guide of Souls play. This deck, obviously in the land space, is very heavy on trying to get our things into play as soon as possible. So you'll see Copperline Gorges and pretty much everything that airs on the side of being untapped earlier in the game because we want to get these early Gilded Goose into turn 3, turn 2 plays. Or turn 2, turn 3 accelerated plays, that is. So this is going to be some Guide of Souls type shenanigans. I guess basically all that we really need to watch out for is Static Prison. We hope to overrun pretty quickly. Now the problem is they're going to have some damage that they start pushing before very long. Alright, God of Souls gets big. We're not blocking. Luckily we're going to have Fable of the Mirror Breaker on time, which is good. Pay the 2 life here. Now, the awkwardness here is that we don't get sneak attack next turn if we do this. Do I prioritize having a blocker? I think the answer is yes. And assuming the 2/2 survives, we can still get a sneak attack down. It's a little tight, but it could work. We also have backups Fable then, I guess, as the other thing. We'll have to see what our next draw is. I might be discarding just 1 card. What did they find? That wasn't Static Prison, was it? That was Orcish Bowmasters. One could argue that's also pretty bad for me. So they're going to have a bunch of things flying this turn, which I'm not the biggest fan of. We might have a 1-turn clock here, and that doesn't afford us enough time. So we get hit for 9, or 10 actually. Yeah, this I think means we're going to be just 1 too slow. So if that Gilded Goose was a Birds of Paradise, we are potentially comboing this turn. We'll have to see what our draws on the Fable of the Mirror Breaker are, though. Yeah, I don't think we have anything that's mana positive like this. I think we're just going to go down to a pretty meta deck. So we would discard 1 and 2, I suppose. And what would we have found here? Okay, honestly, not super great hits, so it is what it is. I suppose we will go ahead and pass and let them know what we were on. Gilded Goose, make a token, not going to matter. Oops. We'll go Wooded Foothills here. Let's take the Surveil. And we can at least show them what we had to work with here. The attack would have been like this. Make that treasure. They can block if they'd like, and then we just show them the sneak attack. They know what's up. Cool. So, this doesn't even work. I forgot that I needed to get an untapped land. Oh well, it's all good. It doesn't really change things either way. So, I mean, we took a hand that does cast a slightly accelerated sneak attack, but didn't quite get there. It is what it is. So that'll be round 2. We'll go down to a pretty meta deck. There's really no shame in that here. Meta decks against the kind of jank is a tale as old as time. We'll go in round 3 here and hope for some different results. All right, let's go. So this puts me into round, I believe it is 3. As I go ahead and check my recordings, this is round 3 that we're in right now. So this is another hand that has sneak attack, and it is, one could argue, a little bit accelerated. I like this. All right, and we are once again against the Guide of Souls deck. We'll start like this, and we'll go like that. Make that treasure token, and then we'll do our Gilded Goose next turn. So now, this is going to be another situation where sneak attack does come down early, but then we get to do everything else that we want to do. Now, this time we do have a Vaultborn Tyrant, which is actually going to be very relevant here because they're going to be really aggressive. They don't hit Guide of Souls activation this turn, which is great. I'm looking to cast just the Gilded Goose, right? So I go Stomping Ground, so that turns on Thornspire Verge. That's correct, right? Yes, it is. That can come in tapped, and now we have Gilded Goose off of a land. Meaning that 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah, we have Sneak Attack activation on Galton next turn. Crap, no we don't. Alright, it's going to take us one more turn. But that means that we'll probably still just play Sneak Attack next turn, and then the following turn we have Galta to get everything into play. And that gives us one more draw to do something nasty. Not a huge fan of the Ajani play. We get hit for 5. I think we just barely survive our next turn, unless I'm mistaken. There we are. Alright. Let's see if they have removal for sneak attack, otherwise we get to do our thing. Alright. Well, actually, it looks like the best case scenario has just occurred. They might just be putting Luris into hand. Or maybe not. They'll go Wooded Foothills here, possibly flipping an Ajani, but we wouldn't really care about that. They do buy Luris, but they shocked for something. So is this going to be Static Prison? No, it's not. Okay, so, well, we will definitely go Sneak Attack here on Galta, hit for 14. And then actually, I think we need to go Trample with the Vaultborn Tyrant. So we'll do that. I'm going to actually decline this trigger, or submit 0 rather. And then we will have this go as another Vaultborn Tyrant thing, because we do want to sacrifice it. It's notable that we do get our card draw now, which could be another dinosaur. And it does get to have haste because of Sneak Attack. Cool. Well, looks like we'll take round 3. So that was a nice do-over against the Mardu Energy deck. Feeling pretty good. So we've gone to round 4 here with a pretty clean record so far. Only one big beat. Okay, round 4. We are missing the best card in our deck, unfortunately, and I think we cannot keep this hand as a result. Similar story here. We're going to have to go to 5. And the question is, do I go to 4? I think the answer is probably no. And then in this case, we'll probably just need to keep 1 payoff and then go for just some relatively permanent mana advantage here. We are on the play, which is good in case we need to just straight up ramp into a Tolly, but otherwise I think it's just going to be get a Strike It Rich into the graveyard, cast it on turn 3, just play everything pretty straight up and fair. Early Mishra's Bauble here, looking at my top. So they didn't play a DRC out before. They haven't even played a land, which is kind of crazy. That does mean that they could go and tap Blue Source and have a Spell Pierce here. Okay, that's fair. So they see that we have another Galta here. Fine. Anyone with decent format knowledge can probably predict sneak attack in this situation, which we do have up for next turn. So now I think in this situation, we can't really afford to just crash through a bunch of mana drains. So we will just probably hold off, just try to get them to hold their shields up for as long as possible without deploying any creatures. And if we can kind of just like get them into a holding pattern there, it's actually really good for us. They'll play Psychic Frog instead, so our draw of Sneak Attack is still live. We don't get it, unfortunately. We'll go for second strike, at which we have 5 mana, so we're 2 away from an Atali, which would be good enough. And Psychic Frog, probably going to do some nasty stuff here. They get a free attack if they just go for it. We've seen 3 baubles from them out of 5 cards so far, or 7 cards that we've seen of their deck. Pretty crazy. And they'll go Polluted Delta. Psychic Frog draws them another. I forget if... I think they looked at mine, right? Yeah, they looked at mine. So they did not look at theirs and thought to shuffle with Polluted Delta, meaning that they're probably holding up a counter spell. We'll play the land they saw, then pass. One thing that I'm definitely going to make a change on after this game is I do want to drop a few lands for Cavern of Souls. Either 3 or 4 Cavern of Souls feels right. We do have a lot of small creatures that are not dinosaurs, but when we're in a long situation like this, we actually need to make sure that against the blue decks we can get our large 7 and 8 drops in. So, especially when we're casting them off of treasures too. So, in the final deck list, you will see that, although we are missing it in the original deck tech. If you've stuck this far into the video, that will be your little extra nugget of knowledge. Thanks for sticking around. Okay, cool. So, they're representing a whole lot of mana still. We'll just continue to strike it rich here. And maybe get into a situation where we can double spell, who knows. But they're really not threatening life total just yet. Psychic Frog can probably make this a 2-turn clock, but if they do that, yeah, see, here we go. There's really no reason for me to do this. It doesn't really matter either way. We can pass here. Okay. And if they're smart, they just continue to hold whatever counter spells they have here. I'm kind of just stuck here with no recourse. If it comes to a situation where I'm just forced to cast a Galta, so be it. We might just have to send that anyway. So I'd be left with, if I cast Atali, then I'd be left with only 6 mana left. That does not put me in a good spot to go spell, to bait out a counter spell and then another spell. I think I need to go Galta. Okay, well, fine. I think I need to go Galta into Sneak Attack, most likely. Oh, I'm surprised they give me the Atali. It'd be kind of sick if they bought Luris right now and discarded a card. I do not know the art for this card. I assume this is some old Magic card. If you know, let me know in the comments. So we'd like to see them make another play here, ideally. Psychic Frog might do something. Undercity Sewers, that makes a lot of sense. Still representing a number of counter spells, which I think they definitely do play if it's a blue-black deck. Yeah, well, can't say I'm super psyched about where we are right now. Definitely thinking that Cavern of Souls ×4 might be the move for this deck. Eventually we will find something to do. Looking at Wooded Foothills here, we will take our Scry at the end. Going to 8. We're basically dead to the next Psychic Frog attack, so we kind of just need to send it right now. This is like a 99.1% situation right now if you're thinking about the poker percentages. So for me, I think at this point it basically just has to be exactly sneak attack. I mean, even then, it's like doesn't really do a whole lot for me. It's can enter tap. We just have to jam and Atali. There's just really no way about it. They have the counter spell here, and then we're dead. Mana drain, ultimate mana drain. We'll let opponent take their turn here. Or actually, at this point, we can save them the trouble of having to activate Psychic Frog like 7 times. What I will do here is we're going to get back right into the game because I'm going to make these changes live right here. So we'll just go ahead right here and do the edit right now. And so what am I going to get rid of here? Probably just the Carplusian Forests, or my least favorite thing. Taking damage is unideal. And then we'll grab some Cavern of Souls here. And yeah, we'll apply some styles here, save this, and then we will just run it back real quick with that one simple change made. Now, pretty much the only way that we get bitten here is by drawing like 2 or 3 as our only lands for the course of the game, which is just like I don't know the exact percentage, but that's got to be very, very low. We'll get our new match here, and if we could just match up against blue-black control again, that would be kind of perfect for an A/B test. We'll find Volborn Tyrant here. And that is not super good unless I'm going for sneak attack. We do have sneak attack in this hand, which I do much prefer. To a few other lands, then like this, I would have to choose between the 2 of these. I suppose it can be... Oh, actually, I need to play 2 untapped lands, don't I? Okay, fine. This is all right. Thornspire Verge will turn on eventually. So we go turn 1 like that, and then turn 2, and then do this. Cool. Bam, bam. Turn 3 Fable. Or sorry, turn 2 Fable. Hopefully turn 3 Sneak Attack. And then activation after that. Looks like we do have that control situation we were talking about. We'll just attempt 1 Fable. See if they eat that up. Sweet. This is a really nice one to have. If they tap out... Oh, it's a Felia deck. Okay, so we got to watch out for Pitchcast Elementals. Satoru, probably the thing that they play before casting a bunch of Pitch Elementals. Felia will flicker their Satoru. No, it'll flicker my 2/2. That's understandable. So we're going to have to go Felia again, I think. We'll discard 1 Fable here. Looking for a land. Don't get it, dang. Alright, Fable number 2. All we need is 1 mana source out of this 2/2. And then we're looking good. They Swamp Cycle here. So I'm kind of hoping that they decide that they want to start blinking their Satoru to get card advantages. They've started to play out most of their hand. They know that they can block my 2/2. Okay, I guess they're going to take my 2/2 again. That's fair. I gotta hope there's no counter magic here. Okay, another bop is fine. I will take another bop. I mean, I'm kind of interested in playing both of these. I think at this point I'm good to just get rid of Galta. That does tell them exactly what they're up against, though, but I do need the card draw and hitting land. It is very important here. We do find lands. I can't really just cram a sneak attack, though. That's not smart, is it? I don't think it is. Okay, so they can blink my reflection. I'll just continue to get more 2/2s. That's completely fine. The Solitude that I foresee... Okay, Ephemerate on this is far better than Ephemerate on a Grief or something. Speaking of which, I probably just need to go for sneak attack sooner rather than later. They may not play counter magic, actually. I don't know what their blue is for. Maybe it's a splash for Satoru, but yeah, this might be primarily creatures. At the very least, we do have activation next turn with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 total mana. Yeah, that is an activation. Solitude. I needed to take my reflection, but actually they're going to take my whole board here, which is awkward. Okay. Well, yeah, I think it's just basically... Oh my god. This is just basically a situation where I need to resolve a sneak attack and then pray that they just don't have removal for it. Probably should have done that last turn. Seems like this was a bit of a misread on the deck because I've built this deck before and there's not a lot of room for instant speed counter spell interaction. I do like the Felia blinking of Satoru though, that's pretty slick. Esper Sentinel, well, we're not going to be paying much into that. 7, 8, 9, 10. We take a lot of damage here, but we do have a Fable to quote-unquote block, although they probably just blink Solitude. Or, you know, it itself with the Felia. Yeah, so we just go Wooded Foothills here. It kind of just needs to be now or never. We will obviously be getting red for sneak attack activations. Can we have it? Can't pay for the Esper Sentinel. But we can pray. Alright, looks like it'll resolve. I think that would have resolved a turn or two ago, so I kind of feel bad for not just slamming it. But can't really go back here, can we? Dimir left over. No Ephemerate. Pitchcast Solitude is an option. They don't do anything. I don't think I'm dead yet. I'm looking for my Atali to potentially hit a Solitude from them. That'd be kind of nice. Hitting an Ephemerate from them is also not bad. And I guess we're not blocking here. Take our damage. Doesn't feel good, but I pray that our next turn is a good one. Soul Render. So I think I'm losing my reflection anyway. No, it'll be Satoru for value. Sweet. Okay, well, we're about to do something nasty though. And 3, 4, 5, 6. We'll be hitting for 1 on the Gishoth at the very least. We have multiple Atalis here. That's kind of huge. So we'll start with 1. Swords to Plowshares or Solitude are on the menu. We can even drop another Atali if it comes down to that. I can even do a defensive sneak attack on their turn. Alright, so there's the Solitude and the Armored Scrap Gorger as well, please. I think I'd potentially be interested in taking my own Atali here. However, their Felly is a good idea as well. Let's see if they decide to put something in before this. I mean, they can pitch cast their own Solitude. Okay, so I think... Actually, you know what? In the interest of Gishoth doing some damage, maybe I take the Satoru. They will Ephemerate. Okay, I can Solitude again. I think that's worth it. You are not the only one that can cheat pitch elementals into play. I can also do it. Alright, so I'll take Satoru twice. And Soul Herder will trigger. Their Ephemerate, more importantly, fizzles though. Alright, and then we go Gishoth here. And I think that this is probably enough for now. Alright. Then we will go in with everything. See if they want to lose their Soul Herder. So the Gishoth hit will be really good unless they put the Soul Herder in front of it. I'm still in a pretty bad spot if they just don't block even. They don't know about the other Atali though, and it really comes down to what I hit on the Gishoth too. Oh, and then you know what? I probably want to also do Atali prior to passing the turn because I'm going to hit non-creature spells. Yeah, they just take the damage. So we hit big with Gishoth here, looking 7 deep. Oh yeah, we are looking good. We'll submit 3. We could actually just submit 4 here. Why not? Get a bunch of triggers. We will keep. They all have vigilance. It's fine. I probably didn't need to take that other Gishoth. That was kind of a mistake, but it is what it is. Grief Galta. I can put another Atali into play. Holy. Alright. Are we doing the meme? No, we're not, because this might need to be used defensively or next turn. Grief we'll put into there. We'll look at their hand. So another Felia. Fatal Push doesn't matter. We can take one of their 2 lands. Nothing is super crazy here. When we draw cards, it's either with Fable, which is not here anymore, and we can deny, or it's with something that is giving us life. So I think probably Felia is probably the best take here, and then we look to kill their Felia. We'll then take a Satoru, and we will take another sneak attack, because why not? We will decline the Esper Sentinel draw. Alright, we get another card here. They cannot flash in the Bowmasters. In response to a Bowmaster, could also get another Atali, but yeah, at this point it's fine. We've done more than enough this turn. Birds of Paradise, we can finally go to end step here. We have to discard a bunch, or we have to sacrifice a bunch of things here, but we are looking good when it comes to staying alive, which is nice. We can continue to Solitude and Grief in the following turns with our Reflection. They put a Bowmasters in, not really worried about that so far. I think we're looking like we have a victory here. They can do some Malakir Rebirth things on the Solitude, I guess. So I'm probably blocking with the Armored Scrapgorger. They will hit the Grief once, okay. They don't want me to flicker their Grief. Or to create a copy of it, rather. So I'm basically... Oh, that makes a lot of sense. Okay, so they're going to kill my Grief that way. So it's very trivial that I just block everything, right? So Grief can block the Solitude, but actually I don't want the Solitude to die. The Grief can trade with the Esper Sentinel, and then we can just block like 1, 2, and then we block in a way that Solitude cannot be Malakir Rebirthed. Yeah, I guess Felia might die, whatever. I will also make sure that I hit the Esper Sentinel, but then Solitude will die on the re-ETB of the Bowmaster, so we just block like this. Okay. So I think there's going to be some Malakir Rebirths. They'll take life to do it. Does this return tapped? It does return tapped, so I don't really know what we're doing here. I guess Soul Herder... Okay, so they'll still be able to flicker the Solitude. I guess I kind of messed up there. I think it's fine, though. We have another Atali in hand, right? So it's, like, all good. So I wonder what they're going to Solitude here. They're back at 6. It will be Malakir Rebirth, but... Okay, I see what's happening. They realize that they are dead. In a very significant way. Cool. So round 4 is going to be one of the good ones. We have round 5 coming up. I think we've had about a 50-50 in terms of absolute bangers of games versus not so great ones. So let's try to end on a high note here and have one more strong showing. Okay, we got one final round here. This would be a better hand if it had a sneak attack in it. I think I'm happy to mulligan once. Fable the Mirror Breaker is a good reason to keep a hand here, and I think I will keep this one. Now the question is, do I keep on the strength of just 2 lands, or do I try to actually just draw into something? I might actually just put back the Gishoth here, and then I'll just plan to discard a lot with the Fable. We are still searching for the sneak attack, and it feels bad when I discard one of my payoffs, since we're never really going to be using it like that. In this case, we control 2 or fewer lands, so we go that into Birds of Paradise, and then eventually our Thornspire Verge will turn on the green side. Um, Really loving this card in this deck. It is absolutely built for a sneak attack deck that's splashing green. It looks like we're going to have to play this one a little bit more straight up here, though. We'll go tapped Stomping Ground. Looks to be that we're playing blue-black once more. And they'll actually pass through here without playing a land. Maybe that means this Fable will get through, or maybe that means that they are sitting on a bunch of 2 CMC counter spells. Looks like that won't be the case. They might flash into Bowmasters here. That's kind of the vibe that I'm getting. No, it's going to be Dark Rit on the end step. For 4 mana, what are we doing? Oh, a Murderous Rider. Okay. I'm not unhappy to see that. Oh, and they pass again. We are doing the thing here. We'll just discard 2 lands. Wow, more lands. Crazy. We'll just go with another Fable here. Keep on continuing to do the thing. We'll pass here, we'll Surveil. Alright, so we are looking great, and they are definitely land screwed. This is about to be a one-sided game. Although we don't really have a kill in any sense here. Galta, we do want in hand eventually. I'll keep a Galta. Alright, we have a trigger here to discard 2 lands here. I think I might actually discard the Scrap Gorger here. I think. We want to guarantee a land. Or a land drop, that is. Boom. Another Fable. We're just continuing to do the thing here. This is absolute red mid-range here with just like 3 Fables. That's insane. Alright, so they finally found their next land. We will be discarding, I think, 1 land now. Oh, nice. The Cavern of Souls that we so desperately needed. So we are putting that thing on Dinosaur. And then we are going in with the squad, so to speak. That's going to allow us to put in a Galta uncounterably. We got to make sure that we pay green for this. I've been having some auto-tapping that does not appear to take the Cavern of Souls on the uncounterable side. We'll put in the Vaultborn Tyrant, gain some life, and do some things. There's Sneak Attack, finally. We'll just be copying Vaultborn Tyrants with our reflections here, and I think that we probably just win the game unless there's a board clear in their future. That is not the 4th mana for Damnation, so I think that the chance that we're getting the board wipe goes down considerably. What'll it be? Well, that is not what I thought it'd be. Cool, so we will just do the thing. We'll show them Sneak Attack, and then we will show them Reflection on Vaultborn. We will show them Reflection on Vaultborn, and then put in another Galta or something. Cool. Well, that round 5 went pretty well. We actually got to show off Cavern of Souls finally after I made that mid-series switch. Ultimately, it seems like this was a pretty good change for us as it came into use at least once. So overall, pretty fun deck. It's really, really fun to get back to some of these combo routes and playing some Sneak Attack. Sneak Attack, Vaultborn Tyrant. Absolute 1-2 combo right there. Very, very good. Reflection of Kiki Jiki. I can tell you guys that in the first few iterations of this deck, when I was not running Reflection, I was running I was attempting to continue the Ulamog idea. So I used to run Ulamog as Ulamog and Ugin's Labyrinth, plus some other large colorless spells, in order to make sure that I could have a hasty Ulamog with 7 to 10 counters on him to annihilate or 7 the opponent. After I realized that that was not going to be the direction I wanted to go, I decided to still try to keep Ulamog in and use some exile-based card advantage in red to make sure that I could still make sure that something was exiled, at least for the turn that I played the Ulamog. And ultimately, those decks did not do very well, but coming to Reflection, it's just another reminder why this card is so good. Very, very pushed, very, very good value. Can't sing the praises enough. With that being said, that'll bring us to the end of the video, though. I hope you guys enjoyed the deck tech today. If you want to try the deck out for yourself, the deck list will always be in the video description. Make sure to do the YouTube things of liking and commenting. That helps me out a bunch. Subscribe if you're new for videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Thank you for sticking around, and I'll see you in the next one.